Your grace is enough, and blessed be the name together. Just the chorus on blessed be the name.
Your faithfulness to us, is there oh God, my healer.
Caleb, can you put the verse up there for me? I don't see it on the screens. Oh, yeah, powering them on works too. All right, stand to your feet with us tonight. You guys ready to worship? How many were here Sunday morning? Yes? Come on, did God fill the room or did he fill the room? It was awesome. The same God that was here Sunday is here tonight. I don't know if you knew that or not. I think you did. But he's ready. He's always ready to pour out his presence. Can somebody say amen? I had a brother that used to pray, God, if you're willing, if you want to. And I got a hold of him one time. I said, brother, he said, where any 2 or 3 are gathered in my name, there am I in the midst. So how many know I'm here in his name, you're here in his name, he's here in the midst of us. So can we just give him a hand clap and thank him for his presence? Thank you, Jesus, that you're with us. Thank you, Lord. We ask that you bless this time, that you bring the spirit of truth to deliver your word, to deliver your ways, to deliver wisdom tonight. This is a wisdom night. Lord, give us wisdom in our walk. We ask for holy wisdom. Wisdom that's not of this world, but is your wisdom. Your wisdom. And God, we commit to being open. Open our hearts, God, as we ask you to pour into us, to overflowing, God. Paul said that we would be filled to fullness, God. We don't want to walk around just half full. We want to be filled with the fullness of who you are, to overflowing. That it would pour out on our sons, our daughters. That it would pour out on our husbands, our wives. That it would pour out on our parents, our grandparents. That it would pour out on our brothers and sisters. That it would pour out in our workplace. That it would pour out in our schools and in our government. God, anywhere that we walk, your presence is being poured out because you've opened us up as a window of heaven. I want to be a window of heaven, God, into this earth. We want to be a window of heaven, so open us up, Jesus, and pour yourself out. Bless this time together in Jesus' name. And the church said, amen. Will you sing this with me? Great is your faithfulness, O God. You wrestle with the sinner's heart. You lead us by still waters into mercy. And nothing can keep us apart. So remember your people, remember your children, remember your promise, oh God. Come on, put your hands together, sing. Your grace is enough. Your grace is enough. Your grace is enough. is your love and justice, say.
Great is your love and justice, God of Jacob. You use the weak to lead the strong. You lead us in the song of your salvation. And all your people sing along. So remember your people, remember your children, remember your promise, oh God. Come on, sing it out and say, your grace is enough. Your grace is enough. Your grace is enough for me. Yes, your grace is enough. Your grace is enough. Your grace is enough for me. How about this? Say, blessed be the name of the Lord. Blessed be your name. Blessed be the name of the Lord. Blessed be your glorious name. Sing it with me, say, be the name of the Lord. Blessed be your name. Blessed be the name of the Lord. Blessed be your glorious name. You give and take away. You give and take away. My heart will choose to say, Lord, blessed be your name. See, you give and take away. You give and take away. Still my heart will choose to say, blessed be your name. Blessed be the name of the Lord. Blessed be your name. Blessed be the name of the Lord. Blessed be your glorious name. Blessed be the name of the Lord. Blessed be your name. Blessed be the name of the Lord. Blessed be your glorious name. Come on, give him praise. Give him praise. Your name is great. Amen. We love you, Jesus. We love you, Jesus. You know, I love worship. When I grew up, we were doing songs that were simple, but they were powerful. And sometimes, the words just get in the way. But there's a very simple song that I want to share with you tonight. You may know it, but it just says this. Repeat after me. Say, surround me, oh Lord. Say it again. Surround me, oh Lord. Let your presence fill this place. Come on, say that with your heart. Let your presence fill this place. We're not just talking about a building, but we're talking about our hearts. Amen? Come on, sing it with me. It's real simple. Surround me, oh Lord. Surround me, oh Lord. One more time. Sing it out. Sing. Surround me, oh Lord. Let your presence fill this place. Now that you know it, sing it from your heart. Come on, sing it to Jesus. Surround me, oh Lord. Surround me, oh Lord. Surround me, oh Lord. Let your presence fill this place. every voice say, surround me, oh Lord. Surround me, oh Lord. Surround me, oh Lord. Let your presence fill this place. Let your presence fill this place. Come on, put your hand on your heart right now. And let your presence fill this place. 'Cause I'm desperate for you. How many need him tonight? You know that you need him. You know. Just sing it to him. Say, and I'm lost. I'm lost without you. This is the air I breathe. This is the air I breathe. Come on, your holy presence. Your holy presence living in me. This is my day. This is my day. Are you thankful for his word? Say, your very word, it's spoken to me. Oh, and I'm desperate for you. Just you, Jesus. Say, I'm lost without you. Yeah. Oh, say, I'm desperate for you. Oh, 'cause I'm lost without you. I'm lost without you. Come on, you and Jesus right now. I'm lost without you. I need you, Lord. I'm lost without you, Lord. Nobody greater. There's nobody greater. Nobody greater than you. Come on, sing that with me. Declare it. There's nobody greater. Nobody greater. Nobody greater than you. Oh, there's nobody greater. Nobody greater. Nobody greater than you. I searched all over. I couldn't find nobody. Searched high and low.
out with me. I searched all over. I searched all over. I couldn't find nobody. Searched high and low. Still couldn't find nobody. Nobody greater. There's nobody greater. Nobody greater than you. Come on, church, lift your voice. Come on, let's declare it together. There's nobody greater. Nobody greater. Nobody greater than you. Then sings my soul, my Savior God, to thee. How great thou art. How great thou art. Then sings my soul, my Savior God, to thee. How great thou art. How great thou art. Nobody greater. Nobody greater. Nobody greater than you. Come on, one last time, declare it with me. Say, there's nobody greater. No, nobody greater. Nobody greater than you. Come on, give him a hand clap of praise. Hallelujah.
Well, we could just keep going, do that all night. Nobody greater. Amen. You may be seated. I've got a couple of announcements to go through here real quick, and I want everybody to remember. Did everybody enjoy the meal tonight? Was it good? Mine was good. I hope yours was as well. Every Wednesday night we have a great time of food and fellowship. Don't forget that. Get here early and enjoy that time. We wanted to remind our senior adults, our Bridge Builder event being held May the 14th. This month will not be held here on property. We're going to be going to the Lindale Championship Rodeo. And this is at the Cross Brand Church. They literally have a big rodeo arena at the church. It's a covered arena. It'll be really nice. It's a free event. And this it will be from 6 until 10 or whenever you need to leave. But it'll be a great time of fun and fellowship. You don't want to miss that. I'm going to be sending out, I'll be calling you. And if you need a ride, we can take some vans from here to there. I know some of our adults don't like to drive at night, so that will be available for you. Also, we want to remind you that coming up on May the 22nd, coinciding with the great event that we have, the Upper Room Experience that is coming, that all day that Saturday we'll have another East Texas Hoop event. The last one that we had here was the greatest one we've had since we started, over a year. And God just really blessed us. We had over 1,000 people come through the building. And you don't want to miss that. And there's going to be sign-up sheets once again for you to come and help us be a part of that great day. And then the Upper Room Encounter with Pastor Judy Jacobs and our General Overseer, Dr. Tim Hill, will be Saturday and Sunday, May 22nd and 23rd. And you do not want to miss that. In fact, you need to tell everybody you know about it. It's going to be an awesome time of just the presence, the Word, and God doing great things, a Pentecostal experience. And then on Sunday night, May the 23rd, we're going to have a praise and worship night that you just don't want to miss. It's going to be awesome. The presence of God is going to be here, and we're going to have a great time together. Then also on the 12th, the Echo, the 6th through 12th grade, have a gym night Friday, May the 28th, 6 to 9. p.m. So it's going to be a wonderful time for our youth and all there. They don't want to miss that. And tonight we have a special program here for you. It's a little different. We don't have classes tonight. And we have asked our detective, Michelle Brock, to come and to help us understand some things concerning the internet and social media safety. How many of you know that's a big deal today? And in a lot of ways, you can be duped and taken advantage of and not even know that it's happening. So she's going to just reveal some things to us in that regard here in just a moment. We want to remind you, if you have offering tonight, that we're not going to take an offering up here. You can put that in our receptacles that are out in the foyer. And then also we have one right outside this door. So do that when service is over. So at this time, we're going to ask Michelle if she'll come up and just teach us. Amen.
Good evening. I think a lot of y'all probably were here for the last time that I was here with my ex-partner, Kevin Fite. I only say ex because he promoted to sergeant, and so he's no longer doing these with me, and so he left me all alone to do this. I'm going to step down because I can't see. I want to see everyone. I'm a detective for Tyler Police Department. I have been a detective since 2008, assigned to crimes against children. I'm waiting for my PowerPoint. Is it going to go up here too? Okay. You can't see me, but I can't see y'all. Okay, I'll step back a little. So I've been doing that since 2008. I'm now a part of the task force for internet crimes against children, as well as crimes against children detective, and I am housed out of the Children's Advocacy Center. Does everyone know what internet crimes against children are? Okay, so this is real interactive. So in order for this to work really well and y'all take something home, it's two weeks. I'll be here next Wednesday as well. Y'all have to participate. And so that's why I really wanted to come down there so that I could talk to y'all. When I was asked to do this again, do I need to hold it down a little? Okay. When I was asked to do this again, I really thought about what I wanted to present to you guys because it's real easy to tell y'all how to be safe on the internet, but social media is a big part of it. I had the opportunity to present to about 100 11-year-old girls at Girl Power. I think it was probably right before COVID started, so it was like January, February when I got to do that. And I was shocked at what they told me. And so I had this presentation for them. I wanted to let them know that they were too young to be on social media. They already knew that. But what I learned from them really kind of shocked me to my core. Because it's not often that we get to sit down with a group of 11-year-olds and just find out what's going on in their lives, especially when you throw social media and the internet in. Everyone has a cell phone in here, right? How many of y'all have apps on it? So what's your favorite app? Facebook? Is it what? Pinterest. Pinterest is a good one. It's where do I need to be? Right in the middle, okay. They keep saying like right here. Yeah, Pinterest is one of those too that'll get you. You can chat on Pinterest. Did you know that? You can chat on anything. But what I found when I talked to these 11-year-olds, I went through this whole entire PowerPoint with them. What I found was alarming. Right here in Tyler, they were on dating sites bringing adult men on their streets and getting in cars with them and leaving the security of their home, their neighborhood, and just exposing themselves to things that they should not have. So I was able to sit down and talk to them. I walked through the aisles with them. It was out at UT. I learned firsthand what could I do, what could we do that would help them not fall prey to predators. I mean, I think it was just sitting down and talking with them and letting them know that this was real life. And so when they did ask me, I thought this is a perfect presentation to give you guys. It's not a long presentation. That's why we have to have a lot of participation. But how do we learn? We learn when we're active, when we are engaged. And so that's why it's important that I hear from you guys. They don't want me to go down there, clearly. So I have to look out there. So if you want to raise your hand, and when I ask a question, yes, sir. Oh, do you need me? No problem. Okay. Is this one messing up? Okay. Oh, for everyone to talk. Sometimes I'm blonde. Sorry. And I'm very corny, so y'all can laugh with me. It's okay. My family does. Okay, so things we want to talk about. When we talk about social media, do we think about just Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat? Do we think about our computers, our PlayStations, our Xboxes? We don't think about that, do we? How many of y'all have Xboxes, PlayStations, the Switch, Nintendo Switch? How many of y'all have that in your home? How many know that you can upload photos and talk peer-to-peer and chat on those? If there's any kids in here, you don't have to raise your hand because your parents are watching. So, we can do that. And everybody know what peer-to-peer means? It's just file sharing. You can share photos and stuff with other people. So we have dating chat sites with Tinder, Match, Bumble. These 11-year-old girls were on Tinder and Match and other dating sites. It's amazing. It shocked me because I knew it was happening, but I didn't. Does that make sense? When we get these internet crimes against children reports, we see the worst of the worst. But to see it right there in your face, it was shocking. And so I was like, why? Why are y'all doing that? And all they could tell me is that they weren't getting enough attention at home. That was one. And two, the phone. The phone makes it really, really easy. So why is it important that we safeguard our phones? Is because social media, websites, and apps, they are there to create community. Would you agree? Good community, bad community. You can share everything from what you eat in the morning to your fight with your husband or your wife or your children, correct? We can learn a lot about people on that. So it would be natural for our children to seek out those kind of things as well. Would you agree? Yes. Yes, it would. So what do we know about these social media apps? We know that that Facebook is the most popular and largest. We know that the legal age, you have to be 13 years age at least to get a profile. Did y'all know that? Do you think that Facebook polices that? No, absolutely not. You have 8 and 9-year-olds that have Facebook profiles. Again, Facebook, and we'll see that because I've got the stats for you guys. It's crazy how many of these young children are on Facebook. And did you know that Facebook has dating profiles now and a dating site that goes along with it, and it flashes up weekly on your profile? Yes. And so it engages these 9-year-olds. It appeals to them. It engages these 11-year-olds. It engages these 25-year-olds, these 35-year-olds, these 50-year-olds, and so on. It engages every one of them because it appeals to something that they need in their life. And that's how social media works. That's how the internet works. So you have YouTube. How many of y'all have YouTube accounts? Because I really can't see. How many of y'all go to YouTube on a regular basis? Because it's easy. We're going to see some YouTube stuff probably next week. It's real easy, and it's entertainment, and you can watch all kinds of things on YouTube. How many of y'all have young children? What's your age ranges? How many of y'all have, 4 to 8? 4 to 8. How about 9 to 12? You're going to raise your hand every time I ask this question. I got you. How many of y'all have teenagers? Okay. How many of y'all know what your children are watching on their phone? How many of y'all police it every 5 minutes? How many of y'all turn away to cook dinner while they're watching? Guess what? Guess what they do? They splice videos. Did y'all know what splice means? Sorry, I had my braces tightened for the very last time yesterday, and they put some extra wires on there and tightened them up. Then they put some rubber bands on there. Mike's like, don't talk about your braces. He's back there doing the cross sign. It's okay, babe. But they hurt, so I kind of have a lisp today. So I apologize for that. Okay, so to watch my time, because this is one of my favorite things to teach about, so I might get a little carried away. I actually really need a professional timekeeper because I will go past my time. So we have what we call splicing, and they splice these videos, and so you're watching one thing, and then all of a sudden they flash on to something else, and it could be anything, and then they go right back to the video. So the time that you turn your back to pull something out of the oven or turn the stove off, they can already have that splice in there, and it'll be gone right back. So it's real important that you're putting the parental controls on YouTube, any of these social media sites. And I don't want you to be like, you can't do this ever. You just got to be more interactive with what they're doing. Instagram. Everybody have Instagram? How many of y'all have Instagram? Yep, I love Instagram. 13 years of age and older defaults to the public. Easy access to porn. Did y'all know that? So we're the main kind of guardian of social media is NITMEC. Everybody know what NITMEC is? It's National Exploited Children, Missing in Children. And so there's a federal law that all social media and like Google, search engines, like Pinterest, Tumblr, stuff like that, anything that could be like peer-to-peer, you can upload anything, they have a macro that they run in the background, and anytime some type of child porn or something comes across, it automatically shoots it to NITMEC, and then NITMEC processes it. They run a couple scans on it, and then they send it off to the regional areas, and we're a task force that's attached to the Dallas ICAC, and then they'll send it to us. And so any of these, like Facebook, everything, y'all know a lot about the dark web. You've heard about it. So everything has a side to the dark web. Facebook does, Instagram does, Snapchat, everything does. And it goes through what we call onion layers, because you peel back the layers and you go into the dark web side, and so you can find all this stuff. But now they've learned how to integrate it into the other side, the good side, if you want to call it that. And so they can be flipping through folders of different photographs, and boom, there it is, while you're taking something out of the oven or changing laundry over while they're watching that. Snapchat, 12 plus. Everybody have Snapchat? I'm the only, see, me and you, we have everything, don't we? Yeah. I have Snapchat. He has Snapchat. I know Mike has Snapchat. Probably just skip it. Just skip it. Because you can do a lot on there. But here's the thing with Snapchat. They claim that they don't have this server where they don't keep anything, but they've developed this thing now called Snap Memories. And attached to those memories, attached to anything that you upload on Snapchat, is your location, unless you go to ghost mode or turn your Snap Map off. See, they're funny there with that Snapchat, Snap Map, Snap Location. And if you don't manually go turn these things off, and that's with any social media, if you don't turn your location services off on each social media profile, they can find your location. So, I've got a story to tell you. There's a little girl. She's in this 11-year-old group. She has a Snapchat. She doesn't understand why these people know where she lives. She's snapping out pictures everywhere, and she's giving her address out on those pictures. And she ends up in trouble. Lots of feedback up here. she didn't know that she needed to turn her location services off. So she wasn't snapping, hey, this is so-and-so from Tyler, Texas, and I live at such and such address, but it was already in her locations that were going out with her snaps. So you got to turn those locations off. And I'm just giving you all a brief overview because we're going to go into detail on these. So TikTok, how many has TikTok? Everybody know what TikTok is? You've probably heard about it. You have everything, don't you? So TikTok is just like videos. Like everyone can do voiceovers and they can do challenges. And 8, 9, 7, 6, 10, 11, all the way up until like 80 years old people have this. And so the user agreement states that it's intended only for people 13 years and over. I got some stats in a minute that's going to shock you because the most average age group for TikTok is like 4 to 9. So common factor in all social media is that they all have age requirements. They all have footprints. Everybody knows what footprints are. It's location. If I was to send out a picture to Sherry and she sent it to somebody in this room and they sent it to someone else, if I ran it through a program that's free to everyone, that's on the internet right now, it can show you my GPS coordinates of where I'm standing, wherever I sent that video out, or that picture, video, whatever I sent out. So it's really, really important that you turn these location services off, especially if you're somebody that wants to be on social media all the time and you're telling everybody that you're going out for vacation or you're home alone or you're just sending pictures out on a dating site. You need to turn your location services off. So how do bad people get our info? They get our info from the location services, because how many of y'all believe that there are people out there that sit behind a computer 24/7 and they're calling about your car warranty? That was a joke. It was a bad joke, but it was a joke. But they really do. How many of y'all really, though, sit on social media all the time? You again. We're going to talk afterwards. But no, seriously, I mean, how many of y'all think about when you update your posts on Facebook or Instagram or you send out a snap? It's only him and me sending snaps out. How many of y'all think about that? Anyone? No one? Will you now? You think about it? Oh, you do? What do you work for? Oh, suddenly? Yeah, you kind of know. Yeah. But I mean, like, how many sitting here right now are thinking about, oh, I have like 37 pictures that I uploaded just an hour ago, or I updated my status 16 times today. I mean, because there are people that do. Let's be real. I mean, how many of y'all thinking about that? Because this is real life. And I investigate these cases with these children, these adults. This is real life. Just because we're in Tyler, Texas, doesn't mean it's not happening. We don't have a bubble over us that's protecting us from everything. We don't have something that says, oh, can't happen here because it's Tyler. It's really happening. I'm not saying this to scare you. I'm trying to make you aware. When 11-year-old children are telling me that they are having people come to their house and meeting them, and they're going off-site to do things that only adults should do, that's a problem. So here's an assignment. And this is going to be real interactive, so whoever has the microphone. How many of y'all go to a restaurant weekly? No one? All of y'all should raise your hand. Okay, so how many of y'all actually go inside, now that we can actually go inside, sit down, order your meal? What do y'all do? Do y'all have a conversation with the person you're there with? How many of y'all are really? Because this drives Mike, my husband, crazy, because I'm like, put your phone down, let's watch everybody. How many of y'all people watch? Okay, because it drives him crazy, because he's like, why? Because I want to see how many people are interacting, especially people who have children with them. And it's usually like this. I need a phone. I'll borrow your phone. Okay. I'm not going to open or anything, Tara. That's a cute picture. So it's like this. Y'all count. It is. Think about it. Thank you. Very cute picture. How many of y'all think about it now? How many of y'all do it? I'm not upset with y'all. I'm not even mad. Do you do it? Because you're on all the social media sides. You're mad at her. That's good. But I mean, like, seriously, I mean, all playing aside, we can joke, we can have fun. I love to joke. But think about it. How many of us are guilty of it? I mean, I'm guilty of it. We're all guilty of it. So here's what I think the reason we do it. First of all, social media sucks us in. Would you agree? I mean, they suck us in like they have us because we can check out from everyday life. Because let's face it, everyday life's hard. And sometimes we just need that refresher just to sit down and just say, you know what, I just need a minute. But then a minute turns into 2, 3, 5, 10, 15. They've refilled your drink 3 times, gave you another basket of chips. 4, your kids are screaming for attention, or they probably already have their own phones, and everybody's watching their own little thing on the phones. And then our food comes, and we haven't even looked up and had a conversation. Isn't that sad? I mean, I'm guilty of it. I know every one of us are guilty of it. But that's what social media does. It takes everything from us. It takes community. It takes family. It takes everyday stuff, and it puts it all on that phone or on that computer, and it sucks us in to the point where we'll do anything for that. And that's what we're seeing in our children today. That's why we're seeing 10 and 11-year-olds going to Tinder, Match, Bumble, Facebook dating, Instagram dating. This is why we're seeing the rise of predators. I mean, it's crazy how fast that's rising because we are setting our children up for that because we're letting the phone raise them. And these social media sites are letting us. They're enticing us. They're making it easy. And so that's really what I want to help y'all understand tonight is that, and help y'all figure out how to stop that so that we can bring our family back to that table while we're eating dinner and not worry about what Facebook is telling all of us, what Instagram is telling all of us, what person's sitting behind a keyboard that's telling us. And what's sad is we can't even play games anymore. So this is pretty personal and close to home for Mike and I. We were sitting watching TV one night, and Emily, everybody knows Emily's my granddaughter. She lives with us. She's 9. I think she was 8 at the time. And I heard her talking, and I was like, what is she talking? Who's she talking to? She had her iPad, and I was like, Mike, who's she talking to? And he was like, well, I don't know. She has her iPad. She's supposed to be playing a game, and it's a build game. It's where she's building a planet. And, I mean, I was watching her, so I thought. And I was like, Emily, come here. And she's like, what? And I was like, who are you talking to? And she said, I'm talking to someone on my game. I was like, talking to someone on your game? What are you talking about? And she's like, oh, I have the chat box open. And I'm like, well, you're not supposed to have the chat box open. What is going on? And so here I'm thinking in my mind, I'm a police officer, I'm a detective, I'm an ICAC detective. Like, this can't be happening to me. So I'm like, what are they asking you? Well, they're talking about marriage and stuff. And I'm like, talking about marriage? What are you talking? I mean, like, my brain is in straight OODA loop mode. Everybody know what OODA loop is? It's just when you just sit there and you're just like a hamster in a wheel, and it's like, what is going on? And I'm like, I need to see this chat. What's going on? Well, they're just asking where I live. And I said, did you tell them? Well, I told them I lived in Texas. I said, let me have that iPad right now. So something as simple as a game that's rated for her age, she's building planets and houses and stuff. And you do with this particular game, I think a lot of them are like that, like Roblox and stuff. This wasn't Roblox. You actually have to have help to build stuff. You power up faster. You would think that it would be harmless, but anything that has a chat option, you have to watch, because they're not harmless, because there are people that sit in those rooms, and I call them rooms because they're chat rooms. They sit there 24/7 preying on children and adults, mostly children, because children are naive. They don't have the life experiences that we do. They don't know when something on one of these social media sites are out to get them. They just don't know. And so I said, Emily, you can't talk to people. You have to disable the chat. You knew that you weren't supposed to have the chat on. And she became upset and overwhelmed and said, I didn't know I was doing anything wrong. I thought they were in my game helping me. And I said, you can't tell anybody where you live, because these people prey on people like you. And I've never hidden what I've done, what I do for a living with Emily. Emily is very understanding of what I do, because I want her to be educated. I don't want her to ever become a victim because I failed at my job as a parent. And I said, you can't tell anyone where you live. I said, you shouldn't even be on chat. But if you were to ever be on chat and they ask you, just tell them you live in the United States. That's it. Just be done with it. But we're going to disable the chat. So, long story short, I thought I disabled the chat. It wasn't a couple days later, I heard her talking again in there. And I was like, Emily, what's going on? I'm about to take this iPad and you're not ever going to get it. She's like, well, this same person asked me how old I was. And I just told her I was old. And I was like, okay, but why are you talking? That's beside the point. She goes, well, I thought I did good, because I told them when they asked me where I lived, I said I live in the United States. And they said, what state? And she said, well, the United is a state. And I said, well, okay, I get it, but we got to disable the chat. So my point being is 8-year-old Emily, she thought she had it under control. I thought I had it under control. And if it can happen to a police officer that works these cases, it can happen to you, every one of us in here. So I can't stress enough that you have to police your children's social media. Heck, you have to police your own, if we're being honest. So Snapchat. So there's only me and him that have Snapchat. So it was created in July 2011. It has 265 million daily users, and that was the 2020 fourth quarter stats. There was 59 users that were 13 to 24 years of age, so that's every 6 in 10 users. 210 plus million snaps are created every day. That's a lot. So I would probably wager here, that if y'all had Snapchat, just you and I can't answer this, okay? That y'all would, because y'all don't really have Snapchat. Because for everything bad about Snapchat, it's got cool filters. Do y'all know what filters are? Do y'all? Yes? Is that a yes? Is that a no? Okay, so filters, they're really cool. Mike and I play around with them a lot, and the filters are like, they make you look really, really young, different colored hair, all that. It's fun. But it can consume you so quick. Yeah, Mike, you actually have hair in Snapchat. Yeah, it worked for you too, Jim. Because you can actually put hair on. Okay. But do we see the gravity in this? And we've just talked about Snapchat so far. So I was going back to say, if I had to do a wager, I would suspect that we would spend probably 8 to 10 hours a day on social media. Would y'all agree? Especially children. Yes. How many of y'all have businesses? How many of y'all use Facebook, Instagram to advertise? Yep. How many of y'all get a lot of business from that? So it does have its good points, would you agree? But how many of y'all know that people are laying in wait for everyone, even business-wise, to take advantage of you? Absolutely. That's what people do. That's what bad people do. So social media can have its good points. I don't want to take everything away from it. Instagram. How many of y'all had Instagram again? A lot. Of course you do. I'm not going to forget this one. Okay. So Instagram has over 1 billion users in 2021. So that's just the first quarter. We're just going into the second quarter of stats. It's crazy, isn't it? 71% users are under 35 years of age. They reach 140 million U.S. users, which is about 12%. So what does that tell us? 88% of users are outside the U.S. So Instagram's way more popular overseas than it is in the United States. That's because Facebook, Snapchat, TikTok, all those are more popular here. 10 years old and 6 most visited. So let me correct this up. So Instagram is 10 years old, and it's the 6th most visited website and 4th most users on the app. So Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, they all have so they have the apps, and then they have the websites for the computer side of things. So how many of y'all get on your phone and your computer on Facebook? That's a lot of time, isn't it? Instagram? I don't know how the preacher and the praise team do this, because I would be blind. I would. I can't see anything. There's such a glare. So think about it. Your computer's over here. How many of y'all have computers again? How many of y'all have iPads or just tablets in general? And then phones? How many of y'all have all of that loaded on every single device that you own? And what about gaming systems? All right. So y'all look around when everybody raised their hands, right? So y'all see a lot. So this is what people do. They're over here on their phone at home. And then, did you know most TVs you can get on? Did you? Smart TVs, because we're going to smart everything, right? So we're on our phones over here. We're sitting in the recliner. I'm not going to call anyone out here. We're sitting in the recliner. We're watching a smart TV. I'm going to have to go home with somebody tonight. Is that okay? And we're on the phone scrolling. You think any conversations are happening? No. And someone's hogging the TV all the time. So, do you see my point? We're going from our phone, we're going to our computer, we're going to our tablet, and we're all on social media. And so, did y'all remember this story about, let me back up. How many of y'all have secured internet service? Or do y'all even know? How many of y'all go to, public Wi-Fis? How many of y'all go to, I think almost every fast food place has a public Wi-Fi. And most stores. Do any of y'all connect when you get there? Or do you not realize you're connecting? Probably not realizing you're connecting, because those are reaching out and grabbing your phones. How many of y'all, sorry, I'm going to draw me some lines right here. How many of y'all have your automatic internet up on your phones? How many of y'all don't realize that it's automatically pushing out for a signal? So what happens is you go to McDonald's and your website little icon's on your phone because you haven't turned it off. And I'm guilty of it too. And you go there and they're pushing towards each other, and your phone's going to reach out and grab that, and it's open, so it's going to let you grab it. And then guess what? Everything is wide open. So y'all remember the story where the lady, I think it was right after COVID started, and she said that she had a Ring camera or Ring doorbell, and people were talking to her through the Ring doorbell, and she couldn't figure out why. It's because she didn't have her internet secured. She didn't have a passcode on it, and so it was open. And so when it's open, guess what bad guys do? They come connect to all your devices, and they can talk to you through your smartphone, through your Ring doorbell, through your phones. They can see all your information. How many of y'all save all your credit card information and your checkbook and your banking and passcodes and all that on your phone? Yeah. So if you just be careful when you go to these public sites and stuff, because, again, there's bad guys there that are reaching out, grabbing your stuff, and it just can happen in a blink of an eye before you know it. So, moving on to Facebook, there's 274 billion monthly active users, reaches 59% of the world's social network population. It's the third most visited website and the second most downloaded app. Let that sink in for a minute. So it means that not only are we visiting on our phone, which I already told you we were, you're also doing it on your computer as well. 17 years old, that's how old Facebook is. Isn't that crazy? It's almost 20 years old, y'all. Can you believe that? I remember when MySpace was around. I had a friend, he was always like, hey, did you check that MyFace? And I was like, what? He's like, yeah, you know, MyFace. And I was like, you mean MySpace and Facebook? He goes, yeah, my book. And I was like, okay, I can't help you. I can't help you with this. But he would go around telling everybody that. And so he had it confused. But yeah, anybody ever remember MySpace? Yeah, us old people, we remember MySpace. I remember when the first time that I got to add music to it, I thought I was so cool. I would just play it over and over and over, my profile, because it was playing this really cool music. Yeah. And then Facebook came along and stole all of our glory. So there's 50% of males that visit Facebook. Shocker. Where are y'all at? All the guys, raise your hand that are on Facebook. Yeah, every one of y'all should go up. So 32.4% are 25 to 35-year-olds that are on Facebook. So I remember a couple years ago when Facebook was like decreasing. Everybody was like, oh, Facebook's old news. We're going to the gram. We're going back to Snap. And I was like over here, I was like, wow, I like Facebook. And then everybody's like, no, Facebook's old news. It's going away. And then it made this big resurgent because it started all these different applications that were like Instagram is owned by Facebook. How did y'all know that? How many of y'all have Venmo? Do y'all know PayPal owns Venmo? Okay. And then you have Message Pay, Instant Messenger, or not Instant Messenger, but Facebook Messenger, and then it changed and went to just Messenger because they didn't want Facebook on there anymore. They're owned by them as well, and then you can do Instant Pay through Messenger. So they make it real easy to put all your information in there. So I paid a friend for something one day, and I paid it off Messenger, and I didn't know I saved my credit card. So I went back in there to pay it, and it charged the wrong card, and I was like, how'd they get my stuff? And then I realized that I put it in there, and it didn't give me an auto-save option or anything, but it saved it for me anyway. So you got to be really careful about that. 95% of the U.S. population over 12 years of age is aware of Facebook, and 63% of the U.S. population over 12 uses Facebook. So I back up to 3 years ago when nobody over the age of 30 was using Facebook because they were all moving to the gram or they were on Snapchat. That was before TikTok was really getting popular, and that's when they were saying Facebook was going away. So now 12-year-olds are coming back. 12, 13, 14, 15, and so on are making Facebook come back to the present. And with that comes 6, 7, 8, 9-year-olds because they're lying about their age on their profile, and none of these social media accounts or websites have any accountability for this because all you got to do is put in a fake date of birth and send a fake email, and boom, they got a profile. All right, we got about 5 more minutes, and then we'll save the rest for next week. So TikTok, how many of y'all had TikTok? I love TikTok. I don't have the guts to do like a TikTok video because, wait, let me get back in my spot. But I do love watching it because it's funny. It's good comedy relief. When COVID was like really, and we were all locked down and stuff, TikTok was fun because you could laugh, and it was just real humorous, and you could have a lot of fun on it. But it does have its downfall. So there's 689 million monthly users worldwide. That's a lot. 62% U.S. users are between 10 and 29 years of age. 52 minutes a day is spent on the apps, and 4 to 15-year-olds spend 80 minutes per day. Think about that. 4 to 15-year-olds. Over 1 million videos are viewed every day in a year, and it came about in 2017. So I don't think it really showed what it could do until last year when everybody was locked down and everyone started using it as an outlet. But if you think about it, so many people are engaged with TikTok, and there's so many young children on it that it became something that was acceptable. How many of y'all have young children that are on TikTok or watch TikTok that you know of? Just a couple. Okay, so this will be our last slide until next week, and then I'm going to open it up for questions. So additional social media sites, there's YouTube, there's Twitter, there's MeWe, there's Tumblr, there's Discord, Facebook Messenger, Meetup, WeChat, WhatsApp, Reddit, Google, Pinterest. Can't read that one because I was getting fancy with the font colors, and Twitch. But y'all see what I'm saying? And like every time we turn around, they're adding 3 or 4 new type of community outreach apps or dating apps or picture apps or websites. So it's evolving every single day. LinkedIn, thank you. So can I step down for a minute? Will that be okay? All right. So I know I've went over a lot, and next week we're going to have a lot more too, but I wanted to kind of open it up for questions and see if anybody had anything they wanted clarified or they wanted to add or they had any experiences they wanted to share. Yes. Cash App? I have a Cash App. You had to call me out, didn't you? I love Cash App. So I think everything has its place if you do it safely. I personally like Cash App. Knock on wood, I haven't had any problems with it. I haven't heard of anyone having problems. For anybody that doesn't know what Cash App, it's the same like PayPal and Venmo. It's just an instant way to transfer money from one person to another. So I think it's probably relatively safe as long as you safeguard your information. Did I answer it? Okay. Yeah, so with anything, you shouldn't screen mirror, and that's what she's talking about. They're mirroring your screen. You should never give anyone any of your personal information over like email or anything like that. I mean, Cash App, I don't think that they really have a whole lot of tech support here in the state. I could be wrong. I just don't know a lot about it. I do use it. But I would think that in order to be safe all the time, that it would be easier to re-add your information each time you wanted to use it versus leave it on there for someone to get a hold of your phone. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes, absolutely. So, like, friends and family should only be used for friends or family, or if you're having the service done right there and you know that person, anything else should go through a traditional PayPal type transaction if you're using PayPal because they do. I had a saddle for sale and I had a known scammer, message me on Facebook Messenger and they said, we're going to give you $200 over your asking price, but we need you to ship it to somewhere in Miami. And like I knew, but lots of people don't understand that, and young children don't understand. They don't have the life experiences that we do or the knowledge to understand that that's somebody that's after their money, that's legitimately scamming them. So yes, you have to be careful with everything you do. And if someone offers you over something, or if it's too good to be true, like those Walmart ads will pop up all the time. You've won $250 gift card to Walmart. It's really not legitimate. Anyone else? Yes. Mm-hmm. It is. Yes. Yeah, it does. It is a chore. I'll be the first to agree. It's a chore to go to each and every site that you participate in to turn off location services. But yeah, yes, if you don't go in manually, and I don't know, if you have an Android, I'm not familiar with Androids enough to tell you, but I would assume that it is very similar to the iPhone. You have to go in. It is a process to go in and turn off location services, and every time you get an update, it defaults back to sharing everything. So, yes, it is a chore, but it is worth it in the long run. I can. I can do that next week. Yes, Tanner. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Knowledge is power. And in order for us to have knowledge, we have to educate ourselves, and it takes time. And a lot of times we don't make the time that's necessary to protect our children and ourselves. Did anyone else? Mm-hmm. Absolutely. When we work some ICAT cases, there's times when we actually go through the neighborhoods to search for those public domains that are out there where people can just sit outside a residence, and that's why we verify whether or not it's locked or not, and they can do that. Yes. They had already changed them. Yeah, unfortunately, it happens that fast. And when they have attached some type of Trojan horse and cookie to something on your personal information, whether it be an email or a bank account, whatever they've done, it happens that quick. And so, thank goodness, Google support is really efficient because they probably saved you from more headache than you already have. Mhm. Mhm. Absolutely. I know we're all getting car warranty phone calls. We're getting IRS phone calls. We're getting sheriff office. These are all scams. These are these same bad guys that are attacking our children and attacking us on social media and internet. They're attacking us through the phone as well. That's what they do. I get them. I get them all the time. It's frustrating. I don't understand why our phone carriers can't do anything about them. But nobody legitimate is going to ask you to verify your personal information over the phone and then start cussing you out. That's what their mode of operation is. They are very rude when you don't provide them the information, but nobody is going to ask you for that personal information over the phone.